Okay, so this is going to be my little instructional screencast video of making a hello world with in OpenShift using Django, basically using Python 2.7. So to get everything started, you're obviously going to need to come to this website, OpenShift.com, since that is the platform that we are going to be using. And in order to utilize OpenShift, we're going to need to use the client tools that it makes us install, which will be Ruby and Git. You can actually go to the OpenShift website and they have a little instructions for installing both of those. They're pretty straightforward if you're on Windows, and even if you're not on Windows, they have some pretty easy setups for getting all that right. So yeah, you can go to here to look at them. You basically just click wherever it says download newest version or wherever it says download, and then you find the version that is latest and applies to your system. Pretty straightforward. You just run the installers. I don't think for either of these that you need to even mess with zips or anything. It's all just straight up exe installers. So once you get all of that out of the way and you've created your OpenShift account, creating your OpenShift account is pretty simple. You just go onto the little online section right here and click sign up for free. It's a free service. Pretty nice actually. And then once you do that, if you're not already logged in, just come to the main site and click login up here like I'm going to. And then you get here. You probably won't have any applications because you haven't been using OpenShift at all since you're watching this. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna add an application to this that'll be our Hello World OpenShift page. Now, instead of actually going through add application here, I've found that it works much better by doing it through the command line. So the way that you're gonna do this is just go to the bottom left, type in CMD, which just opens your command line. This is how you do it on Windows. And then click your little CMD. You can also just press enter, and then this will bring up your command line. I'm gonna make it a little bigger. Okay, good enough, good enough. So this will bring you to your main users page, whatever your name is. My name's Ben. And now we need to create the application. Now what we're gonna do is you want to change use CD to change your directory. Just change where you are file wise and folder wise. I'm just gonna change to the main directory. It doesn't matter where you put it, it's just wherever you want this application to be. So before, since you haven't installed the actual components that will run your OpenShift files, you're gonna need to, after you have Ruby and Git already installed, you want to type in gem install RHC, which I've already done it, so I'm not gonna do it again. But it's a very simple process. It installs all the RHC modules that you're going to need to use all of these things. So it's very important to the whole installation process. And so once you got that all installed, OpenShift is ready to start going, start developing and stuff. So what you're going to do is RHC setup, which will basically just log you in through the system. So yeah. You can just press enter when it asks to enter the server host name. It's just going to go straight to OpenShift because that's what it's defaulted to. And then, so this is different for me because I'm already logged in. But what is going to appear is that it's going to ask you for your login information. So you type that in, first type in your email and you type in password. And then it's going to go through, it's going to ask you whether or not you want to save a token. And you'll want to say yes to that. Basically what it's going to do is just save a little file to your computer that will make it so you automatically log in. Notice how I didn't have to type in my password or email this time. That's because of the fact that I made a token. And then you're also going to want to say yes to the other thing because that's very important and actually helps you run the things. It's making your SSH key file, which is going to be helpful if when you need to run SSH key files through different programs to use it. Now what we're going to do is, now that we've got all of our accounts set up, we got all of our applications set up to make applications for OpenShift, we're going to create an application. So the way we do this is we do RHC, which calls upon the RHC module to do what we want to do, and then app create. So we're going to create an app, and we're going to do it in Python 2.7, not 2.8. I type with that, and then -a to specify what we want to do, and then you can name it whatever you want. I already have a module called Hello World, so I'm not going to name that. I'm just going to name it Hello. And so what this is going to do, I'll just type in it real fast so it can do everything while I'm talking. It's going to use through the RH setup that we made by logging into our account and interacting with OpenShift, is it's going to create the application. Instead of doing add application right over here, we're creating it through the command line. And this is because this OpenShift is a little weird in the way that it handles things, and it's much more complicated to actually make it through the GUI and then try to access it on your computer, which seems like it wouldn't be that way. But the problem is that you're making it online, and then you have to get those files offline and clone them through GitHub, and then change them via that way. And I had difficulty pushing it back to the OpenShift. So I've actually found this much easier. I think it works much better. There is an alternative method. So if you've gone through the tutorials or something and you've seen that, that's why I'm doing this. So yeah, this is doing the same thing. What I'm going to do is, once this is finished, it takes a little while to create the application. I'm actually going to refresh the OpenShift screen, and then you can see that it does create it. It's just creating it through this, and it does sync up with my account. So once this gets done, which it'll hopefully do soon, we can start working on the application. There we go, it's done. I don't think it will give any errors. Sometimes it makes you recheck because it says it's a not secure connection. That's just something weird that OpenShift sometimes has happen in it. It looks like it's, yeah, see, are you sure you want to continue connecting? Yeah, that's fine. Just say yes. It shouldn't matter. It's just not interacting well with OpenShift because OpenShift can be a little flaky so far from my experience. So now we're good. Now the application hello is made. So if I just minimize that command line, put it in the background, and reload my applications page on my account, there we go. We got hello world, or hello. I already had hello world. So Python 2.7. So we can look at that. It looks all good. There's our SSH code when we want to use, if we want to use it later. Remote log access, all that good stuff. And then this is going to be the domain name, which was auto-generated because we did it through the command prompt. And if we click on that, I'm going to open a new tab. This is the default web page for not having done anything yet. So yeah, you can see this is the title, has a little welcome to OpenShift on the tab, all very fancy. It gives you some instructions, and we are going to do those main instructions. So what we're going to do is we want to open your file manager, whether that be Windows File Explorer like Windows would use, or something fancier, I don't know. And then you're going to want to go to wherever you created that. I created it in my C drive, and then hello, so you can see it's right there, that folder. You want to open that. And these are all the basic Python 2.7 files that are used in order to make the OpenShift Online component. So the main thing, which is actually what creates that whole default web page that we saw, is the wsgi.py. And so you're going to want to open that up because that's what we're going to change to make it say hello world. And just open with any kind of thing. I don't know why mine's not set up, so I'll just do Notepad. And here it is. This is the file that is going to do us all the stuff. This has a lot of code that we're just going to keep because of the fact that that's the basis for how OpenShift is managed and how the web page is created. So now what we want to do is we're going to change it from default to just simply print hello world. I'm going to change the title, and this is the tab title that said welcome to OpenShift, and I'm going to just call it hello world, you know, to kind of go in conjunction with what it's actually going to do. And now here's just ignore the background image. It's just a thing that it does. And here we can see all the basics information. It's making pixels. It's changing the color, making fonts, setting different rows. But what we were really concerned with is the default text that was already there. And here it is. It says Welcome Python application. That's the main heading that it had. It has all of the information on how to do the stuff. And actually what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and delete that. So right from where the section is, so the main section of the web page, we're just going to go over and delete all of that. And yeah, we actually don't, yeah, okay. And now none of that's going to be actually in it anymore, and instead we can type what we want it to display, which is just simply hello world, since that's the program we want. So yeah, now what this is going to do is it's going to print the hello world. It's just going to say hello world in the on the web page through OpenShift. So now what we can do is just Control S to save, or File Save, so I can actually show that to you, and give it a close. Give that a close. We don't need to mess with any more of that. And if you go here, you will notice that it's still the tutorial. That is because we have only done it locally and we have not actually synced it up to OpenShift. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to need to use Git, which is a hosting service kind of thing, and use it to make the changes to OpenShift. So we're going to use the command git add a. So what that is going to do is the Git repository, which we created when we created our application, is it's going to add the changes that we made, and the dash a is just referring to adding all changes. So all the changes that we made was the changing of that one file, the WGSI. Oh, and see, you might, I messed up there. You have to actually go into the file. I forgot to change directories. Because I was just in C, and you want to actually go in the Git repository that the application made. So you had to go in hello world, in the hello, sorry I keep saying hello world, the hello file folder. And then we can do that again, and it should work since I'm in the right folder now. Yeah, see, it'll work if it doesn't say anything. It just doesn't say anything. It's something, just how Git works. The next thing that we want to do is we want to commit it to Git. And this is the command that we're going to do for that. So committing it just applies a change and signifies that there is a change. So you just want to do git commit, and then the what we want to do is -am. That's the functions that we want to do, and then we can do any string to reference just what the change was. This is more important if you're doing an ongoing kind of page or that kind of thing. But let's just say initial changes, because this is the creation of it. And then if next time we commit it, we could say like whatever we changed, you know, the basic idea of that. And now that we've committed it, it should be all ready to go. So what we can do is say git push, which will basically just, if you will, push it onto the OpenShift site. So this is going to take a little while. It's just going to wait for stop to finish. It's going to stop the Python 2.7 and then restart it, and that'll refresh the page basically. So now that we've done that, we can go back to the site and go back to that web page that was that, and now look, instead it just says hello world. You can also see that since I changed the title, the tab title is hello world, and that is exactly what I put in my WSGI or WGSI file. So yeah, this is a basic hello world thing. Hello world is just printing the hello world string, and that's what this does. Just a blank web page with hello world. I hope that was useful and that works for you. I found this an interesting project to work with, and yeah, good luck in all of your OpenShift adventures.